All right, it's time to take a look at Next Level Software. By now, you know an organizational operating system is not a software. However, did you know there are many software programs out there designed to help you implement an organizational operating system more seamlessly? We've tested out the leading candidates, including Bloom Growth, 90, Asana, and a whole bunch more. We've absolutely fallen in love with Monday.com for a wide variety of reasons. We found it to be the easiest to use. It is the most customizable, and need I mention, it is free for nonprofits for the first 10 licenses. I like to call that free 99. If you need more than 10 additional licenses, they're 70% off. And in case you're wondering, neither I nor Next Level Nonprofit get any kind of kickbacks for recommending Monday.com. We just truly think it is amazing. It's actually much more comprehensive than what I'm going to show you today because I'm only going to focus on the attributes that apply directly to your implementation of Next Level Nonprofit. So, once you've become a member of Next Level Nonprofit and complete the custom Next Level software template installation instructions we emailed you, here is what you will see. First, I'm going to walk you through the left side of your screen. This is where you're going to see all the Next Level Nonprofit tools, starting with the weekly. The Weekly is your weekly executive leadership team meeting that starts on time and ends on time. It's an action-packed 90 minutes, but before you even begin the meeting, all of your executive leadership team members will have already input their highs and lows here into Next Level software. As you can see, I've input one of my fictitious highs whereby I saw the Lions win the Super Bowl last night in person. You'll notice I did more than just put my high in. I also put my image here because I'm the Who. I'm going to show you how to take this off by clicking this X. And then when you click on the Who, you can select anyone from your team. All we're doing during highs and lows is reading them off one by one person at a time. There's no discussion. And the time allotted for this section is 5 minutes. Then we go to focus time. Focus time, as you know, can be a wide variety of expressions. It could be a prayer, a poem, a meditation, breathing exercises, etc. As you can see, the tool we're using today is called the ball. Here it is. We use it maybe 3 or 4 times a year. This ball has various questions on it, and we just throw it to one another. Wherever our right thumb lands on the ball, that's the question. Some of the questions are funny. Some are quite deep. Whatever you do with your focus time, you have 5 minutes. Now let's look at our scoreboard review. This one is going to require you to go to the left side of the screen. You're going to click on scoreboard and you'll see we've plugged in an example of a scoreboard where Life Remodeled measures how many new students enter into their programming each week. The goal at the time when this particular metric was set was 100 new students enrolling that quarter, which breaks down to about 8 students per week. Whoever's ultimately accountable for that scoreboard number will put their image here. Make sure you also put the dates for that quarter here on the left. For the sake of this exercise, we're going to assume right now that it's February 14th. Therefore, this number for this particular week would have been input before the meeting, and this person would have labeled this week as an off-track week because you see an on-track week is 8 or above. You can also notice that at the bottom of each column is a summary of the total for that quarter. And of course, the goal for this particular metric is 100. As you're going through your scoreboard during the weekly, all you're doing is reading off the metric and saying whether it's on track or off track. If any discussion is needed, just add that item to opportunities next steps in the weekly. And I'm going to show you that section in a minute. But next is the W3s. W3s means who, what, when. Who is responsible for this W3? Me. What was I supposed to do? Make sure the fundraising team starts using the cowbell to celebrate their wins. This particular date is fictitious. It was due on March 11th. Let's say that I got it done. I would mark it done before the meeting. And when W3s are done, you don't even read them off. However, if by chance this particular item did need discussion, you would merely drop it down to opportunities next steps. As you can see, W3s really help us to keep one another accountable to the commitments we make, and it's clear that we know what done looks like by whom, by when. Let's now go to our next category, which is quarterly priorities. This fictitious example says we're in quarter 1, 2025. You'll update yours with the current quarter that you're in, and each executive leadership team member will input all of their QPs in advance of your meeting. And of course, the QPs, quarterly priorities, won't change for the entire quarter. The only thing that will change will be the status of each QP. And you only have 3 options, either on track, off track, or done. And when it's done, you get to not only click on done, but you get to ring the customized Next Level Nonprofit cowbell. It's super loud, super obnoxious, which makes it a ton of fun. Success for the quarter is getting at least 80% of our QPs done. And right down here at the bottom, you can see there's an automated tally that shows us what percentage of our QPs are done, what percentage are off track, what percentage are on track. Of course, success for a quarter is at least 80% of our QPs being fully done. We now move to the meat of the meeting, or vegetables if that's your flavor. And this is where we talk about opportunities, next steps. It's an important practice to populate your opportunities in advance of your meeting. What are the key issues, which we frame as opportunities, that you want to discuss as a team this week? And of course, if during this meeting you uncover any new opportunities that you might want to discuss, you can always add them right here at any point. To show you how it works, I'm going to put myself as the who, and I'm going to say what I want to discuss is I need some new compelling stories of life transformation that I can share with donors. Next, let's say you have at least 7 potential opportunities to discuss. You're going to decide as a team what are the first 3 you're going to tackle, and you just change the status to priority. That way it's very clear what items we're focused on first. Once you're done discussing that particular opportunity and you've established next steps, you're going to hit done. And then you can guess where you're going to put your next steps. Absolutely. In your W3s. Radical accountability, clarity, dates, timelines, action-oriented solutions. This is awesome. The next category is what info needs to leave the room. This is where we're going to type in anything that was discussed or decided today that needs to be communicated to other team members who are not on the executive leadership team. So in this case, I'm going to say, ask Sarah to send out the mass email on Thursday instead of Wednesday. I'm the who will say that I'm going to do that by tomorrow. And as soon as I finish that, I'm going to complete it by saying done. Because of this tool, we can be confident the information that needs to leave the room was properly communicated, and people who need to be in the know aren't left in the dark. Our last section is where we're grading. How did we do as a team today? You're going to put all of your executive leadership team members' names here. Those will stay permanent, and their associated images. And you're then just going to grade how we did as a team today. Just like elementary, middle school, high school, college, A through F, pluses and minuses acceptable. Was it an A plus meeting, an A minus, B minus, C plus, you name it. If you haven't already done so, you can read in the Next Level Nonprofit book exactly what rubric you use to determine this grade. Next, let's take a look at our one-on-one templates just briefly. This is your structure for meetings with your direct supports. But make sure you hear this next piece. When you install our template into Monday.com, all of these boards will be viewable by everyone who becomes a member of your Monday.com subscription. They're not viewable to other Monday.com users, just your organization. You're going to change the type to private. And by changing it to private, you can determine who is able to view this board and who is not able to view this board by merely clicking on invite. You can invite anyone from your organization. You're definitely going to want to invite your direct support. And sometimes it makes sense to have the COO have direct access to this board as well. You can also duplicate boards because many of you will have more than one direct support. Here's how you do that. Again, you click on the 3 little dots, then click duplicate, voila, it pops up. Here, you've got your template for your quarterly one-on-ones that take place between you and your direct supports. Now, let's take a look at your culture and capacity assessment. As you can see, your core values are here on the left. As you've read in the book, you only want to have 3 to 5 core values. Less is more. 3 to 4 is ideal. Therefore, you'll populate these headers with your own core values for your organization. But these 3 questions on the right stay the same. They're universal. Does this person understand what the job requires? Are they committed to passionately do everything the job requires? Do they have all the abilities necessary to do the job with excellence? You're also going to put the name or names of whatever team members you're currently discussing. This is another board you're going to want to duplicate and make private so that when you're doing a candidate assessment on a specific team member, you aren't putting that out there into the world where all the other team members can see it. Green, as it states, means most of the time. Yellow means some of the time. Red means usually not. There is no such thing as perfect. Nobody lives out culture and capacity perfectly. Therefore, green means most of the time. This tool will help you clarify and accelerate your decision making around determining if you have the right people in the right seats, where you need to coach team members, and what you need to do in the event that someone is not coachable. Let's now go to the affirmation challenge matrix. This is a really great tool to use during your quarterly one-on-ones. I always ask my direct supports, could you please rate me? How did I do the last 90 days as it related to creating an environment of high affirmation and high challenge? So let's say hypothetically my direct support were to say, Chris, in the last 90 days, you did an awesome job affirming me. So I'm going to give you a 5. And they'll just point here with the mouse. But here's the not so good news, Chris. You really didn't challenge me as much as I would expect. You were very affirming, but you just didn't call me to a higher level like you normally do. So I'm going to give you a -3 on challenge, which puts us right here in the cozy culture. That's the kind of culture I would have been creating as a leader that quarter. This tool is a great visual, and you can learn a lot from your direct supports by using it. Our next level strategy tool is going to work just a bit differently. For this one, we've integrated Google with Monday.com because Google Sheets is the way to go for strategic planning. All you need to do is click on this little bubble, then you click on this link, and it's going to make a copy when you hit the button, make a copy. Once you do this, this will now be your own document, and the only people who will have access to it are those that you invite. Not even Next Level Nonprofit headquarters has access here unless you invite us to have access, which, by the way, we would love to see your progress on your next level strategy. This is a draft of what your template will look like. You can see it has lorem ipsum dummy text populated, so you can get an idea of what the spacing and format looks like when you create a comprehensive next level strategy. It has both pages. It's easily editable. It's in the cloud. In case you're wondering, you don't even need a Google account to do this. It's extremely user-friendly and much easier to edit as a team as compared to alternative software options. Now we're going to go on to our next tool, which is the function and accountability overview. This is another integrated tool where you'll just click that little bubble, click this link, and now you'll have your own Lucidchart function and accountability overview. We love to use Lucidchart, and I'll explain why in a minute. But as you can see in this particular example, this is a pretty impressive organization. They have Oprah as their CEO, Ray Kroc as their COO. They've got J-Lo, Dalai Lama, Steven Spielberg, and Mackenzie Scott. I'd say they're going to have a pretty good time going to the next level and all the other levels after that. That is, if they can all get along and be a united team. As you can see, the CEO is at the bottom because we like to emphasize servant leadership. We don't have direct reports. We have direct supports. That's why they're above us, because our role is to support them becoming the highest and best professional versions of themselves, rather than defining our relationship as if they exist to report to us. You can change the sizes of text just by highlighting the text that you want to change the size. You go over here to font. As you can see, as I just scroll over with my mouse, these different sizes, it automatically changes. So I'm going to put it back on 12-point font. You can easily add images of your team members. You also have the ability to change these lines to dotted lines or different colors. You can change all the colors of the boxes. Just click on a box, highlight the fill color. As you can see, it automatically changes the color. Here, let me show you another example so you can see it more clearly. It automatically changes the color while I'm scrolling over it. And you can undo it just like you would undo anything in Microsoft Word or Excel or PowerPoint. And that's why this tool is the most customizable and easiest to use of any org chart builder I've ever seen on the market. Now, we're briefly going to walk through these boards down here, which are for your sessions in either Launchpad or coaching. This portion of the template is primarily set up for those who are experiencing coaching, but it's very easy to customize this for Launchpad. And so I'm going to click on session 1. For those of you who are experiencing our coaching program, you're going to want to share all these boards with your Next Level Nonprofit coach in order to share a board with people outside of your organization. All you need to do is change the status to shareable. Once you change it to shareable, again, you go to invite. This time you can now invite guests who are not on your organization's account, and they can only view the boards that you give them access to. You'll give them guest privileges while they're working with you in your sessions, and that way everything gets written down in one place, easily accessible by whoever you want to see it. And finally, this section, organizational numerical growth, is where we love to track your growth, where you inform us before you begin working with us, how many people are you serving annually? What's your annual revenue, including earned revenue? How many FTEs do you have, full-time equivalent employees? What's your number of volunteers? And then you update this year after year, and we love celebrating with you your growth. Lastly, I want to remind you, Monday.com can do way more than I've shown you. There are numerous tutorial videos for every function under the sun. So with that said, here's to the future of going to the next level and all the other levels after that.